Welcome back, everyone. So today we're taking a look at the tragic passing of 6-year-old James Hutchinson from Middletown, Ohio. Unfortunately, the events leading up to the passing of James Hutchinson were not the best. So many people should have stepped in and helped this 6-year-old little boy, along with his other siblings, all under the age of 10. They all should have received help, but no one did. And from the outside looking in, according to school officials and those who attended a local community outreach program, church program, where they sent home bagged lunches for the children when there was no school, so many people knew that there was turmoil within this home and that it was a boiling pot, that it wasn't a place for any children to be living. But yet, no one stepped in. No one intervened. And 6-year-old James Hutchinson lost his life on a cold, drizzly morning this past week. James met his fate at the hands of his mother. His mother, 29-year-old Brittany Gosney, decided, along with her on and off again boyfriend, age 42, James Hamilton, the biological father of all three of the children who lived in the home. They decided that they didn't want the children anymore. They couldn't keep the children anymore. One way or another, the children all had to go. They put their plan into motion of what they were planning to do to get rid of the three children, to get rid of what they saw was the problems that were there in their home, feeding three little mouths every single day. Brittany decided that she would take all three of the children to get rid of them to Ross Run Park and simply just abandon them, kick them out of the car on this cold, drizzly morning and leave them there. Leave them in their nightgowns and pajamas and let the elements or whatever happened to them happen. James was wearing flannel made material Batman pajamas, no shoes, no socks, no coat, no sandals, just pajamas. He was in the back seat of the car, along with his two other siblings, when she drove to this park. On this morning, it was 34 degrees outside, and a light drizzle had started to fall. She placed him outside the car next to a barricade where that's meant to stop cars from driving up onto the grass. When she said her goodbye, a brief one, got back in the car and started to drive away. But James, little 6-year-old James, didn't want mommy to leave him. So he held on to the car handle as long as he could. And by her own account, she dragged him for quite a while before she didn't see him there anymore, holding on to her car. She left the park, but later returned about 30 or 40 minutes later, by her own account. When she returned to the park, she found 6-year-old James dead in the parking lot from a head injury. she had run him over with her own car. She picked him up. She placed him on the floorboard in the front of her car and drove him home. Now, this all started at approximately 3 a.m. in the morning. Her deceased 6-year-old son, she carried upstairs to the bedroom and laid him out on the bed as if he was sleeping. But she knew he was dead. She sought no medical attention for him. She made no 911 call. She reached out to no one. While her and her 42-year-old boyfriend sat there and decided what they were going to do next. How were they going to get rid of the other 2 children and dispose of James's body? After several hours of talking, they finally came to a plan that they would dump James's body in the Ohio River about 20 miles from their actual location, and then call in a missing child report. And it didn't get any better from there. They loaded James's body back into the car, and James Hutchinson, his biological father, took James, from what the reports say at the earliest right now, went to a secluded part of the Ohio River and tossed his 6-year-old son into the river, got back in his car, and proceeded his drive back home. But not before he made a couple of quick errands, buying cigarettes and a couple other items, and then returning to the home. He disposed of his own 6-year-old son like he was a bag of trash, something that just wasn't needed anymore. The 2 of them together decided these 3 precious lives were worthless, unneeded, unwanted. Sure, they could have done a lot of things. They could have called the state, and the state could have came in and taken them all away. They could have went to the fire department and other local authorities and said, look, we can't take care of them anymore, and simply just walked away. They could have reached out to a lot of nonprofit organizations and church organizations within their own community, those who had been helping them to this point, but they didn't. Six-year-old James Hutchinson is now gone. And don't forget, his siblings in the backseat of the car had to watch as their mother drove over their brother, then loaded his dead, lifeless body back into the car, went home, and laid him out on a bed in the upstairs bedroom. Those memories will be with them forever. And for what? Because the pressures of unemployment and food insecurity and mounting depression within the actual household had gotten to the point when neither of them could take care of the children anymore. They saw no way out. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just stating the facts. They had a lot of options if they couldn't take care of their children anymore, but they chose none of them. They chose to get rid of the children right then and there. She was supposed to get rid of all 3 of the children there in that park. 34 degrees. and a light rain coming down at 3 a.m. in the morning in a rural, secluded park. James Hutchinson. Rest in peace, James. I know for today and forever, you're in good hands now. God will watch over you. God will watch over your siblings because they now have been removed away from this evil mother of yours and this evil father who thought of you as nothing more than just something that was in the way. Thank you for joining me today. You have a terrific week.